Hugo Ball, a name whispered in hushed tones in the hallowed halls of art history. Not a painter, not a sculptor, but a poet, a performer, a provocateur. He was a man who dared to challenge the very foundations of art in a time of unprecedented global turmoil. His weapon of choice? Not paint and canvas, but the power of the word, the shock of the absurd, and the unbridled energy of Dada. Imagine Zurich in 1916. World War I raged across Europe, leaving behind a trail of devastation and disillusionment. Dada was more than just an art movement. It was a cry of anguish, a howl of outrage against a world gone mad. It was a rejection of logic and reason, of the very values that had led to the horrors of war. Dadaists, like Ball, believed that the only way to counter the insanity of the world was with an equally potent dose of absurdity. Ball's contributions to Dada were as diverse as they were unconventional. He was a prolific writer, penning poems, essays and plays that challenged traditional notions of language and meaning. He was also a captivating performer, taking to the stage of the Cabaret Voltaire to recite his nonsensical poems in a booming voice, his body contorted in exaggerated gestures. Ball's sound poems like Gadjiberi Bimba and Karawane were prime examples of Dadaist experimentation. They abandoned traditional grammar and syntax, relying instead on the pure sonic qualities of language. These poems were not meant to be understood in the conventional sense, but rather to be experienced as a visceral assault on the senses. Gadjiberi Bimba, one of his most famous sound poems, is a prime example. It is a nonsensical string of syllables, devoid of any recognizable meaning, yet strangely evocative. The poem's power lies in its rhythm, its sounds, its ability to transport the listener to a realm beyond logic and reason. Section 4. Karawane, a Dadaist manifesto in verse. Karawane, another of Ball's most celebrated works, is more than just a sound poem. It is a Dadaist manifesto in verse. The poem's title, meaning caravan in German, evokes images of a procession of exotic animals and performers, a fitting metaphor for the Dada movement itself. The poem itself is a wild, chaotic journey through language, a jumble of nonsensical words and phrases that seem to tumble over one another in a rush of creative energy. Like a caravan winding its way through a bustling marketplace, the poem is a cacophony of sounds and images, a celebration of the absurd and the unexpected. Section 5. Beyond the Dadaist label, Ball's artistic evolution. While Hugo Ball is often remembered for his pivotal role in the Dada movement, it's important to remember that his artistic vision extended beyond the confines of any single label. He was a restless soul, constantly searching for new ways to express himself and to challenge the status quo. In the years following his involvement with Dada, Ball's artistic focus shifted. He delved into journalism, social criticism and religious studies, publishing several books and essays that reflected his evolving worldview. Despite his departure from the Dada movement, Ball's influence on the art world remained profound. Section 6. The legacy of Hugo Ball, a catalyst for artistic freedom. Hugo Ball's legacy is one of artistic innovation, of challenging conventions, and of pushing the boundaries of what art can be. He was a catalyst for change, a provocateur who helped usher in a new era of artistic freedom and experimentation. His influence can be seen in countless artistic movements that followed, from surrealism and abstract expressionism to performance art and conceptual art. His spirit of rebellion, his embrace of the absurd, and his unwavering belief in the power of art to challenge and transform continue to inspire artists today. Section 7. A continuing inspiration, Ball's influence on contemporary art. Today, in a world saturated with information and bombarded by images, Hugo Ball's legacy feels more relevant than ever. His experiments with sound poetry, his embrace of nonsense, and his rejection of traditional artistic hierarchies continue to resonate with artists seeking new ways to engage with the complexities of the modern world. From the sound art of contemporary composers to the performance art of Marina Abramovic, from the absurdist humour of Monty Python to the nonsensical lyrics of David Byrne, Ball's influence can be felt in a wide range of artistic expressions. His spirit of playfulness, his willingness to experiment, and his unwavering belief in the power of art to challenge and transform continue to inspire artists across disciplines.